I wanted to do a video today to do a long past due update. I probably would guess that quite a few of you are like, where did she go? She was doing videos so regularly and then she quit. Well, I don't know. My heart has not been in it. As we all know, 2020 and 2021 haven't been the easiest years per se. All the more reason maybe I should do videos since my channel has been predominantly faith-based. But that said, my heart has not been in it. It just really hasn't. I don't know why. I can't answer that, but I know it's just not been there. I've been trying to get back the gumption to do videos again because I have for a long time rather felt called to, though I struggle with my own personality and tend to push it aside and whatnot. In any event, God gave me, at least I believe He gave me, a list of topics that I need to cover a little bit at a time. Some of them will take some research and whatnot, but just little thoughts that brought to my mind, and I wrote them down actually a little while back and kind of forgot about it and questioned, was it from Him or was it from me? I'm sure some of you know how those sort of things are, and reading through them again this morning, and it's like, I don't even remember coming up with that, and I don't know, I just feel like that some of these things need done, need talked about, and maybe it will be good fellowship for those of us who are here online. I apologize if the movement of me rocking is annoying or anything like that. I'm just sitting here in my recliner. It's an early Saturday morning. My family hasn't gotten up yet, and it was some quiet time, and I thought, it might be a good start to get back to doing this. Several times I've actually videoed restarts and just didn't like them and just deleted them, and I don't know, just not been there. There's lots of other things I needed to cover, like weight loss updates and all that, rather struggles, and just things. There's been homeschool things that I've wanted to do more of and cover, and just various topics. Updates on last year, as some of you might remember, we were going to move, which we did. We are in our home now. It's been about a year and a half. Love it. It's a really nice place. We're kind of in Amish country in Ohio. Much nicer than I thought it would be. It was just a really peaceful area and place. We have found a church locally. It's actually a Baptist one, but we think we really like it and plan on continuing to go there when we're able to. So that's been a blessing too. It was actually the first one we tried. Never in a million expected that to work out that quickly, but we really liked it. It fit us. I'm the only covering lady there, but that's okay. I'm kind of used to that at this point over the years. There were times when we went and fellowshiped with Mennonites, and there's certainly lots of Mennonite churches around. We as a family tend to fit a little bit between the boxes of the two, denominations. Neither fits perfectly, but in some ways Baptist is probably a little bit better. In any event, it's similar to, the church I grew up in, which was also a missionary independent Baptist. But denominations aside, I really don't put a ton of stock in denominations. Depends on the hearts and how people are really following God, right? And update wise, our home, we love it. We love where we are. We need to stay away from the cat shelter because we've got 5 cats now. We went and adopted 5 of them. It was not all at once, but first we adopted Hunter, Cheddar, also known as Cheesy, and Socks. And then it wasn't about a month later we went and got a black cat named Laura, and everybody was getting along and doing well. And then last year on Christmas Eve, Socks was actually the kitten. She actually passed away. It really surprised us. She had seizures and didn't make it, and it took us a while to kind of get over that because it really broke our hearts because we just loved them all so much. But then in the spring we went back to the shelter to see if maybe we could find another kitty to fill that little space that we missed, and we came back with two more. We came back with Jewel and Tiggy, or well, Tigger is how his name is, but we call him Tiggy. I think every cat has a formal name, and then they've got about 35 nicknames, which is funny. But so we have all sorts of new little fuzzball additions in our home, and we've really enjoyed having that. But seems like a lot has changed in the past year and a half since we moved, and it's been enjoyable. I'm still working on the weight loss thing. As some of you know, with that stuff, I had regained and had been fighting to get back down. I'm still fighting my fight. It's not perfect. I'll update more detail on that in some other video. But I'm still fighting that fight, still trying to eat low carb and keto and all that. It's just staying with that is such a challenge. Oh my goodness, it's so hard. I'm trying to think what other major things to update on. I've been focused really hard lately on, first I actually took a summer off for homeschool. We never do that because of the dyslexia that my kids have. But we took the summer off and I focused on decluttering and trying to get the house in better order. There was so much that was still not even really unpacked, but I think we're now there where most things are unpacked. Not perfectly organized, but a whole lot better. That was kind of a nice space of time just to have a good focus on that, and I feel like progress was made. Keeping up on it is another matter, but we're trying. Lately, especially here in fall, I've been working on harvesting the tomatoes. I had lots and lots of tomatoes. I started like 36 plants, gave quite a few plants away, and then ended up, I think, planting about 22 tomato plants. And from that made lots of salsa. I like to do homemade salsa that's sugar-free and cilantro-free. Sugar-free because of my diabetes and, keto ways of eating and stuff, trying to lose weight. And cilantro because I absolutely hate that vile weed. If anybody ever is with me on Facebook, they know I joke about hating on it all the time. It's my favorite plant to hate. All that and poison ivy. But anyway, I did lots of jars of salsa, so that was a busy time. I didn't have a big garden otherwise. I don't have that much space for it because, we have the yard, plenty of yard space, but part of it is wooded, so you can't really grow a garden in that spot. My best spot is actually in the front yard, but my neighbors might not love me if I put a cornfield out there. Not that I want to do that, but I did slip a lot of edibles in between, like on the flower beds and stuff in the front. And then the side is like where I did the tomatoes and whatnot. I have a raised bed. I tried doing some peppers, but some bugs got those. Had some good broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower. The cauliflower didn't do very good, but I got a good little bit of broccoli, bit of cabbage and stuff like that. So I got to make some fermented kraut, which I like. Good for you stuff. But definitely would like to expand more with the garden if possible next year, though I may not need quite so many tomatoes. But I do love my tomatoes. Anyway, so I've been busy with that. I've been squirreling away like crazy on the proverbial prepping. Not to excess levels, but or at least trying not to, but trying to be reasonable. And I feel like my threshold for what is reasonable has kind of increased with the last year. I think it's a good thing to prepare and have a good pantry and have a good plenty of food backup supply. I feel like that's an important thing to do. I always have, and more of that is a good thing. We tried to been working on water storage. We got some used water barrels that are like 55 gallon, I think. It might be 50. Anyway, a couple of those blue food grade barrels, we got those used, and they had some soy sauce. I got to clean those out. We're going to have some extra water storage. And at the local bulk food stores, we bought some bulk foods. Not necessarily low carb ones per se, like wheat and oats and things like that, but I'm predominantly the main one in the house who, watches the carbs. So my husband has been trying and watching sugars better and trying to get not keto but lower carb. So that's good. But in general, our kids certainly still eat normal foods. So stocking up on some of those dry goods and stuff is always a good thing. Now as for the proverbial keto prepping, that is trickier, but because I can pressure can, I haven't done it in a while, but I'm going to get back to pressure canning meats and things like that, and that way I'll have some more shelf-stable stuff in that regard. We have some store-bought things like corned beef and a good bit of it, and tuna and your typical stuff, but within our freezers and stuff is some meat that's needs to be used, so I'm just going to pop it through and pressure can and do batches of that in the next few weeks. So hopefully we can get some more shelf-stable stuff that is also low carb. So that is the plan anyway. I like doing that sort of thing. It can be daunting, especially when you've kind of gotten out of the habit of some of it, but like I've ran it lately, and like I'm here at this house, I have a gas stove, so it makes running a canner so much easier to control. The house we were renting before we came here had one of those glass top stoves, and while you can technically can on it, the weight of a canner can be a problem. But in my case, my pressure canner had a bit of a curve to the bottom and it wouldn't sit flat, so you really couldn't do very good with that. I was able to water bath, but not do the pressure canning. So now that I'm here, I popped out my pressure canner and cleaned it up, checked it out, and it was doing fine. And I canned up some broth here recently, and very, very, very easy to pressure can broth. So kind of a good restart to it. I've done plenty of water bath canning too, with all the tomatoes and salsa and all that. So anyway, just busy squirreling away. That's what I call it, is my squirrel mode, and my squirrel mode is definitely activated. So hopefully yours is too, if you feel so led to do so. In any event, just my mini update for the day. What other things that I want to go over? Oh, Etsy. For those of you who look for the head coverings and on my website for the sewing for sale, I think it was in the spring, I had lots of problems with my website. Google, who's like the host of the blogger site, kept just frying the coding. I don't know why. It just was nuts. It just kept frying the coding on all the PayPal buttons that I was using for people to place orders, and I didn't want to keep fixing it. I got tired of it. I'm not a coder, and what little bit I can get by with, I'm just like, I don't have time for this. I'm just moving the stuff to Etsy. There's aspects of Etsy I don't love, but I'm going to deal with it. So I had been putting some things there, but I just decided to put everything there. I decided to stop doing custom work just for time reasons, because if I get a custom order, that means I have to stop, drop everything I'm doing, drop homeschool or whatever, and focus on that. Even if I have a long lead time with it, it's still a pressure that I have to stop and do something, and it's not always a convenient time. So I feel like the pre-made, already sewn up stuff is a lot easier for people to digest anyway, because they see this is what you see is what you get. This is the item, it's made up, it's got this trim, it's this collar, it's this fabric, and if they like it, they can purchase it. So I've been trying to focus on that. Now through the summer, I haven't got to do a ton of sewing, but that said, we're coming into winter, and of course right now we're in fall, but hopefully I will be able to focus on that more. I've definitely been feeling the bug to sit down and do more sewing and more art and things of that nature. So just that time of year, but hopefully I can get more of that done, more of it loaded into Etsy. There are a few things out there for sale if you want them. I don't have a lot of styles available right now, but the typical things I've always had on my sites over the years is what will be out there. If you have specific requests of like, oh, I really miss, the front lace veil or something, can you please prioritize that in your Etsy store? Let me know that, and then I will try to, the next time I sit down to sew, prioritize that particular thing. I can't promise a time frame, because again, the custom is an issue, but if I know that people are missing a particular thing, that helps me decide what to sew next, and I can put those out there. Right now I think I mostly have lace things, and I think they're predominantly the rounded, and there might be a couple stretch veils and stuff out there too. But I'll link to that below for those of you who follow for the head covering reasons. So a reminder that's out there, you're not going to find the sewing for sale on my blog. I haven't touched my blog in a while. I just haven't had time And kind of like with the YouTube, my heart's not been quite where it needed to be to sit down and even write. I feel like my focus has been scattered a lot the last year. I focused a lot on my photography, which has been fun. I really enjoy it. Bird photography is so much fun, and I photoed my first wedding this year. I don't plan on photoing weddings like as a job or anything, but I just did it for my brother. But I did enjoy it. So I've considered doing a little side business of portrait photography for people, but I'm still working on that, kind of creating a little site for that separately under my name. I have no idea how that'll go or how much time I can really put into it, because my priority is not extra income per se, though it is really nice and really helpful. But in the same turn, my priority and time focus has to be with my homeschool and my family. That is always my first choice. And anything that it happens on the side, well, it's great. It's nice. It's extra. It helps when the house that you bought just recently has a new roof needed, which is what happened to us this year. We thought the roof was less than 10 years old, or about 10. Come to find out, it started leaking. I think it was midsummer it started leaking, and we had 5 people look at it, and it needed to be replaced. So we got that taken care of, but ouch, wasn't expecting that. The air conditioner went out, wasn't expecting to deal with that, so things come up. My point is earning extra money is definitely a helpful thing when you can, but thankfully, for the most part, we're blessed to be able to cover most of our stuff with what my husband makes, but there's definitely days that it would be nice to do a little extra. So the photography thing, I will work on it. I will work on my site, and probably do more of it as I'm able to. But I do enjoy photography. I enjoy being behind the lens. It's just fun, especially when I'm doing the birding and taking pictures of blue jays and stuff like that. That's, I don't know, it's a proverbial passion. So anyway, there's the various updates in life and all that sort of video vlog that some of you may have missed. I don't know. I know I've definitely had message of, where are you? So I am sorry that it's taken me so long to get back out there. Again, I don't know why, but for better or worse, hopefully this video, I will upload it and go from there, and then hopefully I will be able to follow up with some more things soon as I am able to do that. I can't make promises because I just don't trust myself, but my hope and intention is there to do it. So I hope you guys are well, and I hope you have a very blessed day.